Hello and welcome to another episode of Building Minnesota RØKKR. Today, I, Ashley, aka Midnite, the director of content for the team, am here we got Coach Saintt in the building, and then assistant coach and head analyst of the team, Jake, is here. Really excited to have you guys on. You guys are definitely like our most regular guests so far. Like we've had you guys on the podcast the most.
This is number three.
Number 3. I thought it would be, it makes a lot of sense to me to kind of break down some of the matches that we're going to be having this weekend. This weekend, if you guys don't know, is the Minnesota RØKKR hosted Call of Duty League launch weekend here in Minneapolis at the Armory, January 24th through the 26th. Get your tickets now. You can still cop tickets. Come see us this weekend at rokkrtickets.gg. But yeah, dude, we've been getting ready for this tournament essentially since I started the job.
Now.
Yeah, like since my first day on the job was, okay, get our Twitter up and running, and okay, the brand reveal, and then okay, the roster, and then okay, now they're practicing. That's where you guys came in. You guys have been getting our team ready for this weekend. First of all, how do you feel so far about the team, and what do you guys think is going to be the biggest indicator this weekend during the matches of if we're legit or not?
I feel good.
Feel good?
That's all I gotta say. I mean, none of the matchups this weekend scare me too much. I mean, the big hitters right now from the online scrims aren't matching up against us this weekend. So I feel pretty good. I mean, we haven't played Gorillas at all because they didn't even start playing the game until the very end of December. They kind of took the first 2.5 months off.
Interesting strategy.
Yeah, definitely questionable. So by the time they started playing the game, there was no reason for us to practice against them because it just wouldn't have been good practice against us. So we haven't played them once yet, and we haven't played Toronto in over a month either. But I've heard they've been doing pretty good with their.
They've been doing some shifty stuff with their roster, right?
Yeah.
They got didn't they make
everyone.
A starter change, right? Did they get Brack off a starter spot and move
They
in?
never had a set starting roster. They kind of just swapped in all 10 players and tried a bunch of different things. Actually, I think they tried 9. I don't think they ever tried Kleenex, which is a little weird, but I think they tried. Yeah, I think they tried all other 9 players on the starting roster, and now they finally have they're 4 or 5 for now.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, I heard Toronto's actually been playing pretty well, so it'll be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's
fake news. I don't believe it. I'm just
not as well as us, but well.
Yeah.
So I think be interesting. That'll probably be a good.
You feel like the Toronto match. Like if we just
it's the rivalry too.
Yeah, it feels like there's a little more on the line. Like I asked Justin about it the other day. I was like, do you guys care about the rivalry, or is it just like another match for you? And he's like, both.
I think Justin and Adam would get much more satisfaction beating Aches.
Right, yeah. He's on Gorillas.
And I think Brian would get much more satisfaction beating Zen. So I think there are people on our team who prioritize both wins differently. But I mean, everyone wants to win both of our matches.
Yeah, I think players have a lot more, player versus player vendettas rather than, player versus franchise. Because I know a lot of guys on our team want to beat London as well whenever we end up matching against
them.
them.
Alex will probably definitely want to.
Yeah, I don't even think it's mostly Alex. It's more so Justin.
Really? Justin's just got beef. He's like, screw all these guys.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's awesome. So, guys, just getting ready for this weekend and everything that you've seen happen online, I had this kind of question. Obviously, we've seen some power rankings come out from different publications in the community. Never really take those with too much, I don't really care too much about those. However, recently there's been a couple top players in the league who've kind of come out, whether it's in their stream or live on some interview. They've kind of given their top 4, top 5 teams in the league. And, I remember obviously having been here the entire time when we announced our roster, there was a lot of uncertainties with it just based on a couple of our guys are pretty new and younger in Asim and Alex. RØKKR has been consistently really good, throughout his career, but never got to the chip level. And then obviously Assault Silly winning a world championship just a year and a half ago. So that's,
Yeah, but people still underrate them.
I feel like people forget about that.
They don't consider them as star players and stuff like that, even though they've both, been very consistent over the past few years.
Oh, seriously. I mean, Silly's been so consistent since AW, dude.
I mean, look, we came in with a pretty dark horse roster.
For sure.
Similar to Gen G from last year is how I see us.
No real superstar. What set us apart so early was everyone's work ethic and sort of urge to learn the game. there's been this massive push from all of our guys, Brian, myself. You see a lot of these rosters sort of complain about the game and take it less seriously. Our philosophy has sort of been play with the cards you're dealt, figure it out, and play the best hand you have. So we have a game when everyone was complaining about it. We were doing our best to perfect it, and I think it showed early on. You have teams with a lot of individual talent that maybe didn't learn the game as quickly as us. So I think that's why we are where we're at in the power rankings right now. We have players with roles that are compatible with one another, and everyone just really, really wants to work hard. We're really good at not making the same mistake twice, which is something I tell like our guys and Brian all the time. I think that's the most important aspect of improving in life, but in particular sport or Call of Duty. As long as you're consistently making new mistakes, that means you're consistently improving. So I think that's a big testament to our guys in particular.
Yeah, that's awesome. And just to kind of like finish the thought I was having about like the power rankings, like at first people were like, yeah, top 8 maybe on a good day. And I'm just like in my head, I'm like, these are the people who are following this really closely. I think they're really overlooking some aspects of our guys here. And so I just, tuck that in the back of my mind. I'm like, whatever. I'm proud of the guys we have, not only like from a skill point, but just the people that they are. They're really chill. And I think that's the whole, like, they all just have that one common goal of like, we're going to improve every single day. I mean, Assault has it tattooed on his knuckle. So like, it's a real thing with this team. And now that you've seen online scrims kind of get to a point where they're very regular, some pro players, I think it was Priesta from FaZe came out and like ranked us like really up there in the top 4 and was like, and then there's a huge drop off. Do you guys do you take those type of ratings from like a peer like that to heart, or do you pay attention to that much at all? Like, how does it make you guys feel when people are talking about where we're at in the rankings and where you like, because you're here every day, you see these guys, so how does it make you guys feel?
Yeah, I mean, I like hearing what other people are saying. I don't really take anything to heart by any means. It's nice seeing people regard us as one of the better teams, but also, on the flip side of the coin, if people are basically saying we're shit and stuff like that, it's gonna motivate us and fuel us even more.
Yeah, I think it's more of a motivational piece. We worked really hard, and we knew teams, players, fans were expecting us to not be as good as we are currently. So yeah, there's some sort of like minuscule amount of validation when you hear another pro player speak confidently in your team, but really, I almost like it more when people drop us in rankings, just because it makes everyone more hungry. It makes me mad. It makes me want to do more of my job.
Yeah, welcome to Minnesota sports.
But at the same time, if you're regarded as really low, you're not really going to get the best practice. I mean, all the top teams right now practice against us every day because they know we're one of the best teams in the game right now.
Which just helps us get better.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, we're
lucky in that regard.
How did I not mention this? By the way, we are in our brand new facility. This isn't our permanent podcast setup. We're still moving in here, still getting everything set up. So I know this still looks like we're in an interrogation room, but I swear we're about to have a dope podcast set up. It's going to be awesome. So obviously, being the new facility, we've got the practice station set up. We had Atlanta FaZe come in town last night, and they came in here and practiced against you guys. You got like a real LAN connection experience. Talk a little bit about like getting that LAN experience against a team that's regarded as one of the best teams in the league right now. And where do you see that? Well, I'll ask you for your guys' power rankings later, but like, how was it to practice against those guys on LAN last night?
I mean, you can go first.
Yeah. FaZe is considered by most people a top 2 team. Brian sort of spoke to this earlier, but we're really lucky that they like playing us. They consider it good practice. They think our guys are good at the game right now.
We're nasty, dude.
Yeah, we're good. We played them close. It's good practice. Any LAN practice is good practice, but being able to be in a facility with a team that's of FaZe's caliber right now, super beneficial to us. Shout out to you guys for making this possible to where we could scrim them
for sure.
Before the event.
Yeah, we if you guys could see this place, it's amazing, but it is definitely like we are still on moving week. Like there's a bunch of boxes.
It was like scrim room first and then everything else second. So we came in and there was nothing, and then day by day we're watching couches get put in and TVs being brought in. So like we get to see firsthand this entire facility being
guys
built out, which is cool.
Yeah, and we really prioritize like the guys being able to practice, all together. Because you're practicing from the same building essentially when you're at home. But this is a much more kind of competitive environment. I love walking in the scrim room. You guys have like goals written on our whiteboard wall. I love that atmosphere. And do you think it like brings a more serious aspect when you're a player too? Because like when you're playing from your home setup, you're fucking off, you're looking at Instagram or whatever.
Exactly.
Like,
yeah, 100%. There's less distractions here. It's easier to hold one another accountable. You can look around in between maps and see if someone's not paying attention. You can see if someone's like scrolling through their Twitter feed when you're trying to talk about a key important part of the map
like
you just played.
They're spectating in Surge or something and they're like on TikTok or whatever.
Yeah, so I think from that aspect it's much better. Practice is more productive. It's also easier to review things instead of sitting around in our living room like we have been. It'll be super easy to review things when we have a review room and just everything.
You just literally like load up the hard drive, bring it over,
helpful.
and you're instantly like breaking matches down.
I know.
I just want to say like, you guys talk about the guys' work ethic. You guys have really like kind of led that. I think when your coaches are as engaged as you guys are and like you guys are like there to fucking grind, we're here to win, at the end of the day. Talk about like your process. Like, do you feel like you guys reflect that onto the players and it makes them want to take it more seriously too? Or do you guys like how do you view yourself as coaches? Because when you think of like a sports coach, it's like somebody who's kind of authoritative and is like, go practice here now.
See,
I've
never liked that authoritative type of method. I'm a bit more loose and free flowing.
Right.
He is definitely a bit more stern and strict. He likes things being, very on schedule and on point. He's kind of the yin to my yang. And I definitely think he helps me better myself as a coach. And, he kind of completes the whole staff that we have here, which is a really, really good thing. And, us just being here working every day, I think it definitely shows the players the work ethic they need to become champions. Pretty much me and him will come in here around 11, 12 each day, and we're here until 11 p.m., midnight on most of the days this past week, especially. So I think that really reflects on the players, and having them all here for practice helps a lot from the criticism side of things, because when you're able to look people in the eyes and talk to them directly, things are going to stick a lot more than, talking over microphones from a different room.
I think it's really important for us to show the players how much we care. So like my biggest thing is like, look, if I can get here at noon, there's no reason you can't. If I can make this interview, there's no reason you can't.
Yeah.
And I think showing them how much you care, putting in time to... I've stayed up with Adam until 3 a.m, like assault, until 3 a.m. when everyone else is asleep, just going over key statistics or sort of trying to back into what our key problems are and just brainstorming with him. And then going, and I would make a point to get on the mic tomorrow and be like, yeah, Adam was with me until 3 a.m. Like, what were you guys doing?
Yeah,
and
that's awesome.
Showing the players that other people care sort of makes them want to put that extra effort in, because anytime you have a coworker or someone side by side with you and you see them putting in this work, like any person is going to say, holy shit, like I want to match that. I want to be great too.
Yeah.
And I think sort of setting the precedent and making sure everyone's working hard and no one's getting complacent, which is something Brian's really good at, is making sure that, like every day is meaningful. I think that's something we've really strived for.
Yeah, that's why I came up with that whole goal strategy where we write, everyone writes an individual goal they have on our whiteboard every day, is for them to look at and visualize as they're playing throughout the day.
Yeah. That's awesome.
I don't think it would be fair to expect my players to care if we didn't.
Yeah.
And I think there are teams with players and maybe staff members, maybe coaches that
I can confidently say there are.
Yeah. So.
Well, and I've seen that happen with Call of Duty teams too. I mean, you've seen like some of the top teams, they're just so far ahead of everyone else. So they take their foot off the gas a little bit. They're like, oh, we're the best. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying like we're at that point where like, the season hasn't started, guys. Like we're literally just getting into it. But, if you start getting like more highly regarded amongst your peers, like these other top pro teams, like you said, like being able to practice those guys every day, that's got to be motivating. And even like what you just mentioned about like the guy or the girl next to you who's like they're putting in that effort, I think we even reflect that on a staff side. Like when when I have to go do an interview, I know most of the time I have another person on the staff that's going to be with me or another person that's going to be a part of the interview, and we both were there to conquer it together. Knowing like how hard we're all working makes me want to work harder. And so I think even on the staff side, we reflect that a little bit. So I think that's one of the most important parts of building a solid team too, of like having people that are all in it together with one common goal. And I mean, obviously, you know, we have a bunch of different goals here at Minnesota RØKKR, but all of like the number one that we all like look back to is we want a winning team. We want a team that's going to be good, because that's just going to elevate everything else. The content's going to elevate everything possible. So obviously, like with a lot of journalism sites in Call of Duty kind of laying out their power rankings, we've got other pro players laying out theirs ahead of the first event, which is Call of Duty League launch weekend, by the way, here in Minneapolis at the Armory, January 24th through the 26th. Get your tickets now. ROKKRtickets.gg. Meet me. Meet these guys. Meet the team. Watch us play. It's going to be sick.
Wow, what a plug.
I know. I had to do it to him. So when you guys think about all the teams in the league, you think of yourself, you know how hard you're practicing. What's like your personal power rankings? Do you guys both agree on them, first of all? And what do you think like the best teams are? 1 to, I guess we'll just do 6. I don't know.
We have slight differences.
There's slight discrepancies, but I mean, kind of as you
can look at it.
I think mine's pretty similar to yours on the top half side. When you get down more, things kind of vary a bit, you know, because there's a lot of question marks down there. But I think top side, me and him are pretty, you know.
Yeah, I have, just because we've been getting asked by so many different sources like ESPN, CDL Intel, everyone's sort of asking for players and coaches top list. I have Atlanta at 1, Dallas at 2.
Where are we at?
I have us at 3.
Just number 3 in your power rankings, but 1 in your heart.
1 in my heart.
There you go.
I think
we know we still have work to do, and we can't confidently say we're the best yet. But
right,
we know we have the ability to get there. We don't necessarily have, you know, just a raw talent to, you know, immediately propel us to the top like some of these teams. But I know we're going to put in a lot more work than all these other teams, and we're going to grind our way up there.
Yeah.
I also think against these teams, if we win a respawn, like if we win a hard point against Atlanta, we can easily win the Dom. If we win a
damn, you hear that, Atlanta?
Right.
Easily, bro.
Then
also S&D is a bit.
S&D
is a big question mark between teams right now. You can't really see what teams are good at that.
That was the next thing I wanted to ask you guys. Is like, obviously, I mean, Atlanta. You got like Celium on that. There's some really good.
They should be very very good at that. I mean, the 5 of them together, they used to have like a group before. I think it's
like a team of S&D Avengers, dude.
They all used to play like years back before they were all 18 too. That's kind of how that team formed. I think it was Pre-Cell, Simp, and it was definitely Maniac, not a BZ, because he wasn't really in that whole circle. But the 4 of them always just played S&D tournaments all the time in Black Ops 3 and IW, and they were like the group before that won like a lot of things. And then, you know, they started getting in the pro scene. Like Priest turned 18, he went to I think Cloud9 it was initially. Then they all started getting 18, they all started getting in the pro scene, and now they kind of reunited.
On paper, we should have a really good S&D team too.
Dude, GodRx is. I still think, bro.
Adam.
GodRx is so underrated,
he's
man.
So good.
He had like the second best S&D stats last year.
Yeah, he's nutty to watch.
Insane, and like
he's
nobody
always been that way
nobody
too.
talks about it. I knew. I was like, bro, this is the guy. So
good.
Your power rankings: Atlanta, Dallas. Is that what you said?
Yeah,
Atlanta, Dallas.
It's like a
Chicago.
1A, 1B.
Us
thing
and then
them.
Chicago.
Yeah, like I think Atlanta and Dallas are like neck and neck, like 1A Atlanta, 1A Dallas, and then if we could be like in a C spot, I think we're right there with them.
Yeah, well, you guys, I mean, you said I know it's obviously scrims, but you're like, we're trading maps with these guys, or we're keeping it close.
Right. Yeah,
like, maybe that's one rotation different and you win, right?
Yeah, like our last scrim versus Dallas was the first time, you know, we evenly split all the maps. I mean, there was definitely a few there
and
that
we
probably should have won, yeah.
But to go back to the original question, Atlanta, Dallas, all neck and neck. Us, Chicago, New York.
Then the rest of them are just
Optic recently.
I think
Optic's
Optic
been
making strides.
they've been getting
so they're a little bit of late bloomers though, because they were like one of the teams that was really complaining about the game at first.
They were very bad at first, but they're definitely solid now.
Like they know the game. Like you've seen drastic improvements in scrimming them week by week. Like they're good.
They
are good product.
They have the raw talent.
A lot of people are under the assumption that the Huntsmen are just going to roll them over on Sunday, and I think that's going to be a lot. I think it's going to be a lot closer of a series than people expect.
I mean, look, I hope they do. As a former old optic member, I hope that Huntsman does roll them. But yeah, I think to your point, I mean, you got Kenny Slasher over there. Like that's just the rawest talent. J Cap, who's just tried and true, and then the two sickos, TJ and Dashy. Like, if you get them all on the same page, that's a nasty team. But it seems like they weren't all on the same page, and that's what's going to be most interesting to me to kind of see over the season. Like, how does this thing evolve? If we're right now kind of contesting in this top 3 spot, how do we take it to the next level? And we're going to see that, as the season goes on. So obviously this weekend, the matches are predetermined. We're still getting points from these matches, just like we're going to get points for wins during the regular season, the tournaments that do go on. So there's I would say less pressure knowing who exactly you're going to face. It's not really going to be tournament format yet, so it's probably got to feel like a little bit less pressure. And obviously, if you're saying, these are the top teams, the two teams we play this weekend, aren't even in your top 5 or 6, right? So how do you view going into a weekend like this? Do you feel like, we got it easy, or do you just never want to like underestimate who you're about to play?
Yeah, you definitely cannot underestimate by any means. So we're going to go in and play these teams like they're the 2 best teams. We want to get in, get our wins, and get out. And just another day in the office.
Yeah, nice. I think we should take all of these power rankings and scrims we've been talking about with a grain of salt, because this game hasn't been played on LAN yet, and we've seen it.
It's true.
Time and time again.
Till yesterday when you played Atlanta FaZe. Was there a distinct difference, you think, or was it pretty similar to what you'd see online? As far as numbers?
I think we're looking a little bit better than we have, the prior times we played them. I mean, we definitely had really good series versus them in the past, but then they got really good. Then things, kind of went up and down. But I think yesterday looked really good for us.
It'll be cool. I think LAN's always interesting. Some people show up, some people don't. Some people have a bad event, a bad match, and it shows.
That's crazy. There's only 2 games, so like crazy. You can't really have like a bad match because you only have one more then, and you really want to walk out of here with your points.
Is so slim in something like this. So I mean, we're gonna take every match very seriously.
Good. Dude, you guys got to beat Pat, please.
I know.
As a former optic, if he comes back and starts being aches for Cilia, like trying to, I mean, you're always going to want to win against your old teammates, right?
Right.
For those that don't know, Aches, Cilia, and Assault just won COD champs together about a year and a half ago. So kind of break down, just like from your perspective, you mentioned that the Gorillas hadn't even really been practicing until recently. Do you guys try to look up stuff on them, or do you, like, since you haven't really played them, do you know their tendencies, or do you just feel like weird? It's
hard. I think they'll be good at search. They might not have practiced in the beginning of the game, but everyone with the exception of Aches was playing search and destroy tournaments. So like it's not like they don't know the game.
Yeah. I mean, I can't say I necessarily agree with Jake on this, but I've been told if you have nothing nice to say, don't say it at all, and that's kind of
so we'll see.
Where I'm gonna go with that team.
Friday, we'll see. We'll see really what's going down versus Gorillas. I think for the last match of the night, around like 6 or 7. So
their head coach was tweeting some smack too. So
who?
Yeah, I don't know.
Who's their head coach?
Embry was shit talking.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Oh, dude, how did I not know it was Embry with Pat? Duh. Dude, so there. Do you think that's real?
They're conjoined at the hip.
Yeah.
I don't.
You get one, you get both, right?
Yeah.
Do you, when they do that, like, does that amp you up a little more where you're like, oh, bro, like, let's go?
I mean, Brian and I were like the mob before the mob existed. Back in Black Ops 3, Brian and I crafted up some very fire tweets. So at this point, we just read it, we sit back, and
you put some tweets in your drafts, and you go on by your day.
That's exactly what's going on.
I kind of wiped my Twitter years ago, but I definitely had some good stuff in there back in the day.
So there is some history. Dude, I'm excited then. Because, I mean, I was already excited with the Pat versus, like, our guys thing, but knowing, like, maybe there's a coach rivalry going on, too. Like, you guys want to coach your guys better.
We'll see.
And see how it goes. So then, obviously, I think we'll still be at the event on Saturday. We're going to be doing like a little 2v2 kind of skirmish, grudge match type thing with Gary V, so one of the minority owners here at Minnesota RØKKR. Great guy, by the way. What the heck? Shout out to Gary. He's going to be repping our squad on stage with Hector Rodriguez. So him and Hex are going to be on stage kind of shoutcasting and like commentating a little bit of this 2v2 match. So it's going to be our guys versus Chicago in a 2v2. Obviously, it's not a real like competition, but predictions for the match. We're winning, right?
Justin's been practicing gunfight a lot.
Really?
He's
I
been
think
playing a lot of
I think
gunfight
land.
we're putting.
He might not have won it.
but he went reps.
There you go, the reps. So I think it's going to be Silly and Assault, and I believe Seth and Formal. We'll see. I'm not sure for who from Chicago, but
I would assume maybe them.
it doesn't matter. I'm excited though. That's going to be a fun match. So we'll still have a presence at the event, even though we don't have an official match on Saturday. And then on Sunday, the last match of the day, again, we're closing out the weekend here at home. I think it'll be around, like I said, 6 or 7, whether you're watching from home or at the event with us. ROKKRtickets.gg. So
this event's going to be nuts.
Yeah,
you have to go to this thing.
It's
going to be ridiculous.
We got a bunch of special stuff planned, and then also these matches are going to be lit. The battle for the North, and obviously never want to lose to Zinni. Never want to lose to any of those guys.
I never want to lose to him ever.
Actually, we should.
Because I'll never hear the end of it from him. Like anytime it happens.
Like 3-word sentence, 4-word sentence. We just never want to lose.
Just hashtag never want to lose.
4 words.
Sometimes to Zinni though. So we're gonna be facing Toronto. Do you guys have a lot? Like you said, they're kind of like that X Factor team where they just had they had all these guys on the roster. They're switching them in, switching them out, trying to figure it out as they go. It seems like, which I'm interested to see how that plays off for them. But what do you kind of like predict, or what do you think is gonna go down on Sunday versus them? Do you guys have any thoughts?
I really can't say. I mean, it's gonna be nice that we get to see them play with that 5 before we play them. I'd much rather see them play first before seeing Gorillas play first. So I think it's good in that aspect.
That makes sense. So obviously Sunday, Battle for the North versus Toronto. They had kind of an interesting strategy where they got all 10 of their roster slots full. They're the only other team in the league that does that, right?
They're the only one. Yeah, everyone else has 7 people on their roster, or 8 if they have like a content creator or something like that.
Yeah. So their strategy was to just kind of try these different guys out and see really what's good for the first event. And so how do you guys feel going into the match on Sunday? Since you haven't probably practiced them too much, do you guys think is this another thing where it's like, oh yeah, we'll probably win, so whatever, or are you guys like, we need to dial in here?
We definitely need to dial in a little bit. It's nice that we get to see them play beforehand. I'm not entirely sure who they're up against.
I think they play Seattle Saturday. I just looked it up.
Okay, that's definitely not a bad matchup. I think
that'll be good to watch.
I think it'll definitely show the level that they're at. So it's good that we get to see them play beforehand, kind of get a feel for their pacing and how they play as a team with their new 5 that they have.
Yeah, we haven't played them in so long, so
we
know how
it was
we
a whole
play.
Different 5 when we played them beforehand.
We know how we play against Seattle, so having the benchmark should help.
There you go. All right. Well, so you guys are feeling. I mean, obviously, I feel pretty confident going into the weekend, but then again, as a Minnesotan, you never get confident. You never get complacent. I think we're going to have really entertaining matches all throughout the weekend, and I'm really excited to see our team take the freaking stage for the first time ever. This is something we did yesterday. So we gave the guys those sneakers, obviously, which, by the way, I'm, like, sad because I want one so bad. Too. They're so nice. But I was like, no, we should let only the starters.
Maybe that's why my eyes were watering this morning.
Yeah, you were like, I wanted them. Dude, thanks for repping, by the way. You got a Midnite hoodie, 100%. Repping it. I appreciate
Shout
you.
out Ashley.
That's me.
That's her.
But yeah, so giving the guys the shoes, like we just wanted we'll link to the video down below if you're in the pictures if you guys didn't see it, but we basically had this super talented artist who works for the Vikings creative team. True North Creative, that's the company she works for, which is, they do graphics for the Vikings. Anyway, her name's Taylor, and she did such an incredible job. I had Dane, we saw the player kits, and then one day downtown, Dane and I were in the elevator, and he was like, hey, so since the jerseys aren't super sick, I mean they're cool, but they're not, you know what I mean?
Right.
They're very uniform, which
they're
is
not
expected.
Customized.
It's very expected
the
for
hoodies. The hoodies came out.
Yeah, that's
nice.
super
I like the white
cool.
hoodie a lot.
Those are dope.
Yeah.
That's so fire.
Those are so cool.
Dude, we have
limited edition hoodies.
Yeah,
awesome.
Did you see the limited
So many
hoodie?
people have DM'd me and have asked for one.
Same.
A few.
Yeah, we don't. I'm like, dude, I don't have mine yet, so
dude,
I don't know how you're getting yours.
Dude, they're DMing me dude, pick me up a hoodie, I'll pay you, and I'm like,
yeah,
bro, I cannot be Grand Central Station for these hoodies, man. You got to get them at the event. They're super sick, but anyway, so we saw the jerseys, and Dane was like, man, they're kind of not as sick as we would want them to be as far as customized. But they do look cool. Like,
Yeah.
their uniform, like I would expect for a league. So they look dope. And so, but we were like, Dane was like, we should get them like something way cooler, like shoes. And I was like, yeah, dude, I've seen like other teams do like Nike ID, or maybe they just pick one that really like would represent their colors well.
Right.
And he was like, well, I know Taylor from the Vikings, True North Creative. She could maybe do these like in her off time, like as a whatever, an independent contractor
That's
on her
so
own.
cool.
And so he's like, yeah, I'll kind of see if she's into it. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. And like she's done like cleats for some of the Vikings players. So she's legit. Like she knows her shit when it comes to painting shoes. And so we got her on board, and that's when I was like, hey guys, need all your shoe sizes. Thank you. Tell me them now. And they were like, okay. Like, I don't know. They probably thought it was weird, but
yeah.
But you're like, yeah, they did.
Well, no, I mean,
Yeah.
I would be like, why is someone asking me?
They thought you guys were just gonna get them like those new
Ultra Boost.
Did you see those Ultra Boosts I
that kind of
got?
have like the purple and stuff like that.
bro,
They
they're
just
nice.
assumed there was gonna be something like that, and then when they got
We
those,
might
they
have
were
to go
like,
get these today.
they're like,
the Ultra
whoa.
Boost.
My Ultra Boosts are very old, so I definitely need.
We
a
can
new
go
pair
get some
soon.
purple ones.
Dude, did you see the one I tweeted? I should have worn them today. I'm gonna be wearing them at the event. They got like this, I don't know. It's like the changes colors depending on how the light's hitting it. It's like
no
blue
way.
and purple.
Like reflective.
It's gnarly.
That's
Yeah,
wild.
it looks super cool. So
Love that.
But yeah, I don't know, man. Just wanted to give the guys something special, and their reactions yesterday were so wholesome, made me so
I'm
happy.
sure.
I knew they would really like the shoes, but
Did you pull them in one by one to open them up?
No,
they're all in there.
Yeah, so we kind of lined all the shoes up, had them go in and just open them, and they were just like, holy shit.
I'm sure.
So yeah, we just super excited. It's exciting times here. We're moving into the facility. The season's about to start.
Yeah, there's
Shit's getting real, baby.
Furniture
Yeah,
in
we
here
have
now.
furniture now. We can sit, dude. Let's go.
We have couches.
Oh, I could take a nap. I could actually go for a nap, dude.
We have beds.
It's been an insane.
have
Yo,
beds,
actually, we do
though.
have beds. What the heck?
We have showers, beds.
Yeah, we could.
Why ever leave? We
I
have a
will just-
kitchen,
we'll just
couch,
live here. We'll just start
T-
the real world. of
TV,
gaming.
fireplace, couch, kitchen, beds, shower. Well, like what else do you need?
Literally
think that's
never
it.
leaving. I live here.
Football
now.
field, gym,
There you go. That's
movie
all
theater.
we do have a movie theater.
Technically, our review room kind of.
Dude, it is. I mean, maybe we'll get like movie chair seating one day, but anyway, this has been freaking amazing. I'm super stoked for the first event. I hope you guys are too. I'm so excited to see our team and you guys just take the stage for the first time and just really see how that match goes. Screw you, Gorillas. Peace the frick out. Goodbye, Toronto. Go back to the South, where you're from. Peace out. Battle for the North go down. Anyways, ROKKRtickets.gg is where you get your tickets to come see us play this weekend and come meet the group. Looking forward to seeing you guys there. And yeah, that's all I got. I don't know how to end the podcast. Oh, I'm such a jerk. I even mentioned that Brett's not on today. I'm a huge jerk. Brett, we missed you on the podcast. Love you, bro. I can't believe you're not here right now. No, I'm just kidding. We've had an insane
he's
week.
right around the corner.
He's got meetings. He's got
Brett is
media.
maybe 3 walls away from us.
We've done it's important stuff because like I've been going to media. You guys even had to do media. I mean, it's been a crazy
Brian
run.
has
right?
to do more media
Getting ready.
today, I think.
Yeah.
You're
No,
like, sweet.
now that I'm the honorary 6 man, I kind of have to
There
probably
you go.
get my pictures taken, just
there you
for
go.
a worst case scenario.
So you're technically a pro.
I'm technically a pro player at this point.
Technically.
back again.
You're back.
Can't get
Never
dropped
left.
this time either.
I can't get dropped from the pro league this time either. No, it's a
There you
guaranteed
go.
contract.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for listening. You can listen on anywhere that podcasts are listened to. You can also watch us on YouTube because we look cool. Look at us. Okay, anyway. Thank you guys so much for listening. Catch you next time.